I shouldn't be here. At one point in my life, I had a gun to my head, about to commit suicide because of everything that I was facing when it came down to Shane, the divorce, and trying to just reestablish myself, a new home. I was sleeping on my boy's couch.
Right.
And I came home from work, and I remember, because I used to do armed security at nights, and I was like, bro, I'm tired of this. And I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out on the couch. And my boy was supposed to stay at work later. And I had my gun, it was loaded, and I'm just sitting there like, it would be better if I wasn't here for Shane. And I had the gun to my head. And lo and behold, my boy walked into the apartment and he's like, Jay, what are you doing? And I'm like, I couldn't even talk because I was crying so much. And he didn't say one word. He sat across from me on the couch and he's like, let's just sit. And he's like, I'm not going to touch you, but let's just sit.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm bawling my eyes out and I'm screaming to him, it would just be better if I wasn't here for Shane, because I already messed up on him. I did what was done to me, generational curses. I did that to him. And he's like, let's just sit. I'm here. And eventually, through grief, through tears, the gun got heavy and I put the gun down.
Young Junk!
Hey guys, hey, welcome to another great episode of Path Possible. Today we are joined with an amazing fella. I've just got to learn in the last 15 minutes. His name is Jamiel.
Yep.
What's your last name?
Owens.
Jamiel Owens.
Yeah.
Works at CHOP.
Yep.
As a family coordinator.
Family relations coordinator.
Family
Yep,
relations coordinator. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm getting it. And then he also has a Instagram page that is called The Awesome Show. I'm looking forward to hearing everything about this.
Me too.
Hey, so let's start in the beginning. So this is Path Possible. We want to explain our paths, why we do it, and what we're doing on our path and our journey. There's a lot of things that we learn throughout the time. Hey, let's start with your path and what got you to where you are.
All right. We got a lot to unpack, right? We're going to talk
I was going to
shop.
say, unpack it, baby.
So, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity, but also, too, for creating this space, because this is going to elevate some people, is going to change perspectives, is going to give light to those who are living in darkness. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I want to make mention now, as you hear my stories, I'm a spiritual person. Everything that I do, it wouldn't be possible without God. And another key point is, because of the life that I live, I was mimicked or persuaded not to like people like you, right?
White.
So yeah, right. But let's keep it real.
Right. Yeah.
I was seeing you as having more opportunities than me, right?
Yeah.
And in reality, yes, we have to respect that. And historically, we have to respect the context of the things that actually happen. But as a great preacher told to me, he said, and I heard it, and it made so much sense. It resonated with me. He said that to a Caucasian individual, I hold you not responsible for what the things that your ancestors did, but I hold you responsible for what you do now and how you take any lesson from there and push the agenda forward.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, you'll see how much I've come from, and the anger has subdued, and it's all based out of love. So I appreciate that. And I hope people, when they see this, they see two men talking, not one black guy and one white guy, but two men talking and conversating about, being the father of a child with special needs and what that looks like.
And if they don't, they're
still back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
There's no evolution.
Exactly.
They wearing togas and everything like that.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So, hey, start me on your path, man. What got you to want to work at CHOP as a family coordinator? I'm sorry if I'm getting this wrong.
You had it.
Family relations coordinator.
There you go. All right, you got it. You got it.
I'm getting it. I'm coming back.
So this wasn't my career path.
Okay.
So I always had a feeling to protect individuals, right? And obviously, if you look at what some of the career choices to protect people right now, it's normally law enforcement, first responder. That was my focus. It was
Okay.
like, hey, I want the badge, I want the gun, I want the responsibility, right? I want to do some good in this world. Growing up, though, I grew up in a single parent home to a young girl. My mom was 17 when she had me, right?
Oh, wow.
Her and my dad split, for unknown reasons. Shout out to my dad. He's present today, present more than ever. But they split, and my mom was like navigating, life, living in North Philadelphia. I was born in Houston, Texas, but raised in North Philly all my life. So we're
Dolphin
like
Street.
trying to, yeah. Oh, you Dolphin Street?
Oh,
No, I'm Susquehanna.
I went down there once.
Oh,
I
okay.
would never go again. There was cars on
No,
fire.
listen,
I don't belong down in Dolphin
you
Street.
belong anywhere. It's a mantra around there. Go down there, mind your business, you be straight.
Yeah.
Just keep it cordial, don't disrespect. 17th and Susquehanna around Colorado
Okay,
Street.
awesome,
So that's where I
awesome.
grew up with, me and my mother and my great grandmother. And she was just trying to make it, trying to find out what womanhood is for her, but also to be a father and a mother to a young man that was, I was born with a physical disability. Medical terminology is an AV fistula. It's my right leg. You wouldn't know, but my right leg is bigger than my left leg. I have extra muscles and veins, right? So I remember back in school, like people used to say I have a super leg, and it affected me a lot. But back to it,
Were you able to kick? Like,
I was able to do everything. I was able to kick.
I'm saying,
I
like, can you hit a 70-yard field goal?
Hey, listen, I was doing. Look, I was running. We're going to talk about it. I was doing everything, right? I was doing everything. But that kind of played into the more traumas that I was actually having in my life. So, mom's trying to figure it out. She's doing the best that she possibly can. But she's missing key parts of my evolution through school. See, I was very, I'm not going to say I was, but old age, you lose a little bit of it, but I'm pretty intelligent, and I'm very keen to learning and understanding, educating myself. So I did very well in school.
Yeah.
But I did very well because my leg was exposed, and people used to say, "Oh, well, look at him. He's disabled, or he has this nasty leg." So my mentality, this is what I heard. My mentality was like, hey, you might look better than me, but you will never outsmart me. Right. So some people, and I like to say this a lot, that was the early part of imposter syndrome for me. And a lot of people might be like, well, I can't make the correlation. Imposter syndrome is being something that you're not. So I was intelligent, but I was excessively pushing myself just to compensate for my physical looks, right? My mom wasn't there to see it because she was working multiple jobs, trying to put food on the table, and we still had, things shut off. We still went without water, food. There was nights that my mom was crying, and, she was alone. And I was a young man and considered myself to be the man of the house, second trauma. And we're going to go into that. People don't realize that, and from that, she, throughout the years, she became more and more dependent on outside influences to heal her heart. Fast forward throughout my life, I was still doing good. She was never at one of my recitals. She missed a lot of stuff, accolades, awards I was getting. She was always proud of me, but she was missing it. I was still feeling the emptiness of not knowing my dad, where he was at. And then I started to think, well, maybe because my leg, he wasn't there. And then I did what most, only children do. We asked for a playmate, right? Which was like, I want a little brother or whatever. So my mom met a gentleman, they were dating, and then I had my little brother, Kenny.
Awesome.
So it was awesome. But then again, that's when things started to really change because I didn't know anything about postpartum depression.
Yeah.
I'm with a woman. Yeah, I'm there. I see things that my mom does, obviously women things, but I never seen that. But I remember now looking at it, she would, take care of my brother. But then when she comes home, she would hand him off to me. She would go into her room and she would sleep. and then she would come out and make dinner, and then she would go into her room and sleep.
Right.
And I never put two and two together. I was just like, oh, my mom's tired because she's working all the time, right? But she was actually going through depression. Then it started to change on me, where more of her psychosis was coming out. And I'm talking about ultimately her having schizophrenia and depression. And that came out to me because she didn't trust me.
Yep.
So here I am. I know we're skipping. I'm trying to condense it. But, you know, I'm going into my teenage years, 14, 15, 16, with a woman who's not only my caregiver, but also my best friend. She taught me how to clean. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to do laundry. She taught me all these things.
Right.
So we used to laugh. We used to joke around, but there was still that firmness.
But was it a trust issue, or was it more that she just didn't want you to worry about her? Because as a parent, you know, now that you're a parent, you sit there and you're like, man, I don't want my kids to worry about me at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell them any of this.
Yeah.
No, the days you have stress, the days that you have depression, the days that you go through and you're like, man, I don't even know how I got through this day.
No, she was just like most women. She was a bleeding heart, just like most men and women, bleeding hearts, right?
Yep.
Looking for love. And it was more of the psychosis. It was definitely the schizophrenia and depression that pushed her to not believe me, not to trust in anything that I said.
Right.
I remember one key point. I was 15, and this was my birthday, and we were in the car, and I had my birthday cake on my lap, and it was almost that day like she forgot my birthday, and she was very frustrated at something, and I was like asking her, well, Mom, what are we going to do, and things like that, and she just started cursing at me, you know, and it was I knew. At that point, I'm like, okay, things are really not making sense.
Right.
But I couldn't tell anybody because I'm like, this is my best friend. How am I going to betray her by opening my mouth and saying there's something wrong with my mom? You know?
Right.
So I remember her getting home and you know, she cursed me out, and she was just like, you know, you don't appreciate everything, and you know what, you're just like your dad, and you're just no good. And she stormed upstairs, and I'm sitting downstairs with my cake, and it's literally my birthday night. She slammed the door. And then my younger brother, Kenny, came up to me and he hugged me. And that was the night where I was like, I started crying. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know where to run. Now, I at this point in time, too, in high school, we're talking about, I went to one of the best high schools in Philadelphia. I went to Central High School. So academically, I'm there. I'm telling you, I was there.
Well, you're as big as a barn. Did you play football for them?
No, I never played any sports.
Oh my God.
Never in my life.
I can't believe a coach wouldn't even go to you and
never
be
about
like,
that.
get your ass in a helmet. Let's
like,
go.
nah, man, you too much. You too much. You gotta slim up. I never played any sports, but I went to one of the best schools, and my grades started dropping off because I didn't open my mouth. So that's one of my, I wouldn't say regrets, but one of my like stabs was I never graduated from Central. And ultimately I was kicked out of Central High School at 11th grade. I had one more grade to go.
Right.
And because I'm ignorant, because I'm a male, because society teaches us that we're supposed to keep this on our backs, I never told anybody what was going on in the household. If I would have sat down and opened up and really be transparent and be like, I need help, this is what's going on, I might have graduated Central. But that's water under the bridge.
Right.
My mom kicked me out. I remember, you know, one day coming home, I tried to use my key and it wouldn't open. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm knocking on the door and everything. And my mom is like looking through the window, and she's like, you don't live here anymore. And I'm like, Mom, stop playing. Like, stop playing. I need to get inside the house. Like, you know, it's cold outside. I need to get in. She's like, I'm not playing. She walked away from the door. That night, I slept on the porch. My porch, I slept on.
Wow.
I woke up the next day. Of course, I had to go to school. So I'm knocking, I'm banging. She comes to the door again, and she's like, get away from my house. I'm not letting you in. And I'm like, Mom, I'm your son. Like, what's going on? And, you know, she proceeded to get the F away from my house.
Right.
And I'm like, Mom, like, come on. So she walks away from the door. So I'm sitting on the porch, 16-year-old. I'm crying. I'm like crying because I'm like, why is this happening to me? I didn't do anything. I'm not understanding. Now, my little brother's in the house with her. She's maintaining his care like it's nothing. But with me, she doesn't trust me. She cut me off. Wow. It didn't get until day 3 where I was I left that day, went to a friend's house, slept on their couch. I confided in him. That's my man Bruce. That's like my brother. And him and his grandma was like, listen, you can stay here, but you really got to figure out what's going on with your mom and get her to help. So I went back around there third day and I knocked on the door and she wasn't there. And I was like, I just don't know what to do. And at that time, the house was boarded up. And I'm like, why is the house boarded up? She boarded up the house because she felt like someone was trying to break in.
Oh,
so her
wow.
psychosis and her depression was really kicking in. She left with my little brother, and driving all around Pennsylvania. She actually got arrested for assaulting a police officer because of her psychosis.
Yep.
I was done. I was like mentally done at that moment, where at that time, my great grandmother, I called her and reached out to her, and she said, come on over. So I was like, I don't know how to even get there. I'm 16. I ain't got no money.
Right.
So she called the police, and the police came and they were like, what's going on? So I'm explaining, but there's no probable cause for them to enter. I don't have anything on me to show that I'm actually there. And they're like, well, is she okay? And I'm like, she's not here. I don't see her car. They went around back. Her car wasn't there. So they're like, okay, do you have somewhere to go? And I was like, my grandma. So they put me in a paddy wagon. Bro, I'm going to tell you, like, I'm counting up the traumas. Third trauma. Not fourth, maybe fourth or fifth. I get in the back of the paddy wagon. They just transported a dead body that was a part of a homicide. There's blood all in the back with me. Oh,
my goodness.
So I'm riding to my great great grandmother's house with blood all in the back.
Yep.
I get out the paddy wagon. I'm walking up the street. Every one of the neighbors is looking at me because they're like, "Isn't he supposed to be in school?" And I'm crying and I'm weeping, to the point where I got inside the house. I didn't say anything to my grandma. I just went upstairs and I shut down for like 2 days. I didn't want to talk to her. I didn't want to talk about it. I just wanted to be alone for like 2 days because literally, in my eyes, my mom just passed away. And then that's when the anger started like kicking in.
Oh,
so
okay.
I know I'm talking a lot, so I know you want to like jump in and do a lot, but it was. Now I'm angry because I'm like, why is my mother this way, and why she doesn't want me? And my great grandma, you're talking about somebody that was born in like 1913. God bless her soul. She was trying to console me the best way possible,
right?
But that wasn't enough. I needed answers and I needed retribution for the things that I was going through. So I started to do what I was being fed, cursing at her, disrespecting my great grandma, like doing things because I was so angry and I didn't have.
She probably beat your ass.
Actually, no. God bless her soul. She was so loving and caring. I'm gonna tell you, like, so we talking about transparency, right?
Yep.
Some of the things and some of the juveniles that are going through a lot of the hurt and no one to talk to today. Like I remember one time when my great grandma, she would do anything for me. I locked her in the basement, bro. I locked her in the basement for like 30 minutes. That's how messed up my mentality was.
If you weren't this big, I'd say you're a piece of shit.
No. But I was. And the reason why is because, for one, there's two things. So there's accountability on my part that I didn't open my mouth and receive the love that my great grandma was getting. And then there was accountability for a lot of outside influences that was looking into my situation that should have been like, oh, this guy needs counseling, because that's a lot of trauma. But I would do things out of anger and I would curse her out and I would just threaten her because I was so angry about what was going on with my mom. So I had a choice to make because at that time I was kicked out of school. They tried to put me in another school, neighborhood school, that I wasn't feeling. I was just like, I went there for like 1 or 2 weeks and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. And then it was like, either you're going to work, get your GED and work, or you're going to go back to school. And I chose GED and work.
So your childhood trauma brought you to CHOP.
Childhood trauma allowed me to experience the worst of my own ambition and my perception of society.
Yep.
That got that out the way so it can make room for love. by me going through that early put me on a trajectory of getting to CHOP. It was still some areas in which we had to get through, but it put me on the right trajectory.
Right.
Because I wouldn't be able to do this job if I still held all of that in. I wouldn't be able to love on people if I had the same mentality that I had back in the day. Like we just discussed before we got into this conversation, right? Like I don't want to talk to you. Like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Simply off of skin color. I wouldn't.
How would I ever know what you were going through?
But how would I even respect your journey and your story in the same manner that you're respecting mine? You see what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
I had to go through that battle in order for it to get me to where I'm at today.
Dude, it's amazing. A lot of people don't come back from that. They'll go the other route. They'll sling dope. They'll
crimes, shooting, drugs, all that.
You just get into the nitty gritty with all of it, and it's like the statistics aren't there for you, especially with your situation.
Oh yeah,
but you climbed, right, and you climbed out of it and made yourself somebody. And
I'm still a nobody. I'm still a nobody.
You're bigger than you think, bud.
Yeah.
You're bigger than you think, especially when you're working a CHOP.
Yeah.
I worked there for 1 week. As a plumber.
Okay.
I worked there for my cousin's company, and it was the hardest thing I've ever seen. Seeing those kids dealing with what they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Our issues are dog shit compared to what they're dealing with.
Compared to that.
When you look at kids and you see how hard it is to deal with, and you're like, you don't ever want to see a kid struggle. And as parents, you sit there and it gets even worse.
I'm going to tell you a story. Not to cut you off. I'm going to tell you a story. Before I got into my position in research of what I'm doing today, I started in CHOP and security because that's my background, law enforcement, right? Protection. So I remember one of my job responsibilities was the blue room. Do you know what the blue room is?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, you don't want to know.
No, I don't.
That's the room that they store
the blue
lights. Yeah, the blue room. But
in the blue room, I kind of feel bad. I'm like, but change the lights, buddy.
It's where the deceased is stored.
Oh my God.
So to put in perspective what you were just saying, like seeing these kids, I had many responsibilities to escort funeral home representatives to these areas. One time I got called because a couple's child just died, and I had to escort the bed from the actual unit all the way over to that unit. That will humble you to actually see the parents where you can't even look at them in the face because it's so hard for you to digest what they just lost. And you're right, we complain about so much. Like, how am I to complain about my son being autistic when this couple just lost their child?
Yeah.
Or a funeral parlor representative going into that area and simply lifting up the smallest body bag that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
You see?
Hey, stop talking about it.
We're gonna get off of it, bro. But
you're gonna have me tearing up.
But that's
I'm sensitive.
That's the things. I'm sensitive too, bro. Like, I'm big, but I'm sensitive. But those are the things that I wish sometimes that I didn't see. But I'm also blessed to be able to see them because I'm able to be thankful for my blessings, but also share that with other people and kind of change their perspective on where they're blessed at, or if they experience that, at least for them to know, I feel your pain.
Right.
So I'm now blessing them because they're like, someone feels what I went through.
No, and it's amazing. What you went through has definitely been a lot of things that a lot of people can't handle.
Yeah.
But let's go back to your path. What got you on the right track to go into CHOP, and how did you get there? Because there are a lot of people who grow up just like you.
Yeah. Everybody has a story.
And has no, like, they don't think that they can go into a situation at CHOP. you know, and when you're family relations coordinator, I'm going to call you a director. And I'm sure you direct.
You listen to Bob? They call me a director.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Dr.
Hey,
Schultz,
dude,
what's up?
I'm telling you, I'm sure you're doing very well there with it, especially the trauma that you went through.
Thank you.
How the hell did you get to where you are? Because there are a lot of kids just like you growing up. They need to know the path. And whether it's a path they want to follow or it's a path that, you know, do you go through the muck? Do you go through the mud? Do you go through this and that? They need to know. So talk about your path to get to where you are. Did you go to college? Did you go to, you know, night school? Did you do like a dude with a GED doesn't just go to CHOP and say, hey,
yo, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, what's up? Like, I
want
need
to
that
be
job.
a family coordinator, you know, relations. No, you don't do that. So how do you get there?
So once again, to the beginning, it's all God. This is not me, and I'm not here to persuade people's religion or their beliefs.
We're breathing on God's time.
But amen. Like
Amen.
100%.
Right.
This, to me, I can't deny that. So, yes, I have a GED. I've held in that time span from where we just stopped conversating to where CHOP, I've held many positions where I shouldn't have had them, but I asserted myself. I was confident, but I was also transparent about who I was and what I can bring to the table. One particular, and I'm gonna tell you, I was working for this lady. Her name is Marie Nam. I call her my third mom because I've had a second mom. My mother passed away eventually. Tell you real quick, and I'll get on that. I found her. She was on the streets, back and forth, homeless for years. And I eventually found her, and she was locked up in New Jersey. And when she called me, she told me I had stage 4 cancer. I only have 3 months to live. So I only had 3 months really after 16 of being with my mom. She would be on medication here and there throughout that time span, but she spent more time, you know, unfortunately succumbing to that.
In those 3 months, how long did it take you to forgive her?
Instantly. Soon as I got that call, I was like, I told my job, hey, I need some time off, went right over to Jersey and spent every day for 3 months. I was the first person there, and I was the last person to see her breathe.
That's very encouraging. There's a lot of people out there who they don't want to make amends. They don't want to have that kind of relationship with their parents because of the trauma that they put them through.
And I know it all too personally, but why give that negative condensation a home in your heart? You exert more energy hating somebody than actually forgiving them and either going on your way or inviting them into your house. My dad came back into my life in my 20s, and he asked me, he said, do you want me in your life? And I said, sure do. Just be there for your grandson. Shane was born at that time. I said, just be there for your grandson.
Right.
And to this day, we are back on track.
Good for him.
We are
good for
back
you
on track.
for
Thank
allowing that to happen.
It's through the trauma.
Right.
That's the only thing. I'm not saying, oh, go through the trauma and you'll be good. You know, it's not like that. Everybody is different. But I was able to see what the negative outcomes were and say, I want more. I know I deserve more. I should be getting this. And then I had a push to be like, accept, right? Accept, forgive, you know, ask for grace, ask for these things. So I did that. I'm sorry. I want to get back on that.
I was going to say, was that a lot of God? When we pray to God, right?
Yeah.
We sit there and we're like, give me the strength to get through this. Give me the courage to go have that conversation, or give me this, right? And we're always asking God, and I say God sucks because because you know when we ask for courage, He puts us through the shit.
Yeah, facts.
And we sit there and we're like, damn, man, like, can you just give me the courage? Like, I don't need to go.
I don't need that. Just put me right here. Then you can save that for somebody else. They might need that.
Just get me through it. Like, and sometimes he challenges us.
Mhm.
Well, I wouldn't say sometimes. He always challenges us. And we always get better. And you are a walking, breathing admiration to God's plans.
Thank you.
And for you to sit there and forgive that quick,
Mm.
that's a lot of inspiration to our younger crew, like
Yeah.
going through it. So you finally land a job at Chop.
Yeah. I finally landed a job at Chop. This is before me working for a company that I just up and quit. Food service. Shout out to all the food service people. I don't know how you did it. I was on there for like a couple months, and then I was like, I can't do this anymore.
We own a bakery.
And, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
I would sell it tomorrow if I could.
If I see a food delivery person in a bar, restaurant down, I'm at, I'm buying your meal because I'm like, bro, you deserve it because it's a lot. But I just quit, right? And I was with my wife, and we were expecting a child, and I just quit. My youngest now, Alejandro, and I told her I don't feel fulfilled at this job, or like I'm serving people.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, you're crazy. Like, we just got this house. Like, we got these bills. And I'm like, listen,
you better go
I have
to work.
a plan. Yeah, I got a plan, but she ain't trying to hear that. Like, look, these bills, like, what's going on? So I sat down. I'm telling you, my first book. So I have 8 books all on Amazon.
You have
8 books that I wrote.
You wrote books.
I don't listen. The more things you'll find out about me, like, why you ain't tell me this? Why you tell me? Because I hate talking about myself. Because my whole intention to everything I do is to serve others.
Yes.
Like, keep on serving, keep on serving. I don't want to focus on what I did and put it out there. I just want to find new ways to serve.
Okay.
And in the first book that I wrote, I sat down for 1 week, 9 to 5, and wrote my book in 1 week. The second week was editing. My book was done. My first book was done in 2 weeks.
And you edited it?
Nah, I had another company.
Say,
I ain't got skills like that. I put it out to another company, and they put it out, and it felt good. And as soon as I wrote that book, and it talks about my life and the perspective about, bringing in my spirituality and the many different things that I had going on in my life.
Jamiel, don't sugarcoat this.
Oh, no.
What the hell is the name of the book?
Oh, okay. It's
you tell me you wrote 8 books. And you're like,
Life is
I'm not going to tell you the name at all.
One. Life is a puzzle. God gave you a cheat sheet, 15-day devotional for the awesome father.
Okay.
So it's on. If you look up my name, it'll pop up on Amazon.
Now you got to spell your name.
Yeah. Oh, JamielOwens. That's on there.
There you go.
Thank you. You see me blushing because I hate talking about it. I hate it.
Yeah.
But I wrote that, and then
you don't just sit there and say, you know what, I wrote some books, and you sound like Stephen King. Like Stephen King would be like, yeah, I wrote a couple books. Not a big deal. No big deal. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, man.
I feel
you
like
wrote fucking crazy books.
Yeah, I mean, books come out. I think it's more of like
Are they self-help?
They are in a sense.
Or I was gonna say
they're not self-help. Like, hey, you have to do this or X, Y, Z. It's like, hey, this is the BS I went through in my life.
Yep.
And this is how you can avoid it. That's what the books are.
So, have you ever read Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey?
No, but I heard about it though.
All right, so one of my favorite books.
Okay.
And he says right in the beginning, this is not a self-help book. This is everything that I've went through to kind of guide you. And when you get to a green light, you take it.
Yeah.
When it's a red light, you stop. And he went through all this. And it sounds exactly like your book. So when we're done here,
I gotta get that.
I am going to download your audio book, and I hope somebody reads it.
I hope so.
Because I'm hoping there's an audio book because that's all I do.
Oh, you only do audio? I don't think I did that one on audio on Amazon. I think it's only paperback. There's a purpose because I got pictures and everything like that in there.
That's fine.
So
you got to describe.
We'll work it out. Either way, I'll get you a copy. Don't worry. We'll work it out. I get you a copy so you can read it.
I'm reading a book right now.
Okay.
And it's called Alchemist.
Okay.
I had a guy, a friend of mine who's on this show, and he talks about this book, and The Alchemist is fantastic.
Really?
But you know who reads it is Jeremy Irons, the guy from
Die Hard.
Die Hard,
The Christmas movie.
No, that was his brother in the.
Okay, all right. I was about to say everybody
Die
says
Hard,
it's a Christmas movie.
Die
Like,
Hard with Vengeance.
okay, all right. That's right.
And he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Listening to this cat talk, I'm like, he sucks.
Like his voice is legendary though.
I know, I get it, and you know, like, So he also was the voice of Scar in Lion King.
Yes.
All I keep thinking is this lion is
just
talking to me.
listen, but you're locked in.
He's telling
but you're
me,
locked in though.
Yes, and he's telling me the book. But the book is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
So The Alchemist.
The Alchemist. Okay.
Apparently, it's like life changing. So I'm in the middle of reading it now.
Okay.
I'm assuming that I'm going to have to read it like 4 more times to get what they're saying, or I just put it in ChatGPT and say, "Hey,
summarize this book for me.
Break this down.
Break this down for me." Yeah.
In layman's terms. So I talked to a buddy of mine who you know, he was the one who talked about the book.
Mm.
He told me one of his versions of it.
Mm.
Then I talked to another friend who watched the podcast. He goes, "Oh, yo, I read the book, this and this and that, and this is what he took from it. Was completely different than what the other guy took." And then we had another guy, another different stance on it. So that's life. I mean, we all interpret things a whole lot differently. How our headspace is, this, and that, you know, and you see this. Now, do you deal with more of the children or do you deal more with the parents in your setting at CHOP?
It's a mixture. You know, having a 17-year-old, soon to be 18-year-old.
Who's the harder one? The parents or the kids?
I actually neither for me. The hardest to help as far as like finding direct services for them is the older.
Right.
The adolescents, well, not the adolescent, but the transition to adulthood. That, because in Pennsylvania, we don't have a lot of programs, but let's speak nationally. There isn't anything to help that transitional stage for most autistic individuals, and we need to do something about it. Like, shout out to, you know, Governor Shapiro. I met with him personally.
Oh, nice.
And you know, him and his staff are working to change that. But respectfully, they already know too that this system that has been trying to support autistic individuals and their families have been broken for many years.
Yep.
So the grave that they're trying to dig out of is always being replenished back in, because every single year there's more things to kind of leave our children and our loved ones in that gray space. So I say all of that because it's not just legislative members that need to work on this, but it also needs to be the communities. It needs to be the healthcare organizations. It needs to be law enforcement. It needs to be food companies. It needs to all of us collectively to help support this population of people.
More importantly, I would say it's the parents too, right?
Oh, 100%.
So the only reason I say that is because we grew up in my family. We had an uncle that had Down syndrome. And we can, like, when we were growing up, it was, oh, he's just retarded. But it was never derogatory. But when I sit there and talk to people and I'm like, oh, are they retarded? And you would think I literally just sliced their fucking dog's throat on the table. I'm like, no, I didn't mean anything by it. Like, what the hell's wrong?
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't say retarded. I'm like, oh, Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm
my
like, yeah,
bad.
yeah, my bad.
My bad.
Look, like when we grew up, it was never a derogatory thing.
Mhm.
It was like when we grew up, like when you said the word, like, dude, you're a fag. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was never derogatory.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, it's like you can't say these things.
Well, we have to respect everybody's feelings and opinions, right? The perspectives. But you got to keep it real. I grew up in the 80s, right? So we
Yeah.
used to say, "Oh man, you retarded," or
Yeah.
"Yo, that's retarded," right? To
Right,
show
right.
it was a colloquium that we actually used to show either a positive affirmation or a negative affirmation, but we use that, right?
Right.
But when we also got keen to the sense of sensitivities and how people feel and how that made them feel, collectively as a people, we put it out there and said, okay, we need to stop using that word because that word is negatively inclined to a person not being able to do what normal people do in that particular notion. The same thing as anyone who's homosexual, using pronouns and things like that. We have to respect how they feel, right?
Right.
Regardless of anything, you have to respect people and how they feel, and you have to leave what your perception or how you perceive a certain population of people out of the picture. Because once again, you want to love on people, right?
Yep.
So loving on people is just acknowledging for who they are and how they see themselves and saying, hey, I love you for who you are. If you want to get into a deeper conversation about somebody else, we can do it respectfully. But at least at this encounter, what you're requesting of me is nothing less or nothing more than what I can handle.
And to build off that, I felt like it was selfish of me. No, it was selfish of me because I grew up not thinking that as a term of endearment. It was just normal to me. Why am I going to carry that weight into now? Because everybody's soft. In my opinion, they're soft.
Okay.
Like you're never going to get to a point where it's easy to have the conversation with somebody. And if you say that word, whether it's fag or retarded, like when you say that word and they get offended, you're like, I shouldn't be selfish on this. I shouldn't sit there and argue my point. The only argument that I would say is, I'm sorry. This is how I grew up. I didn't mean it to offend you. I won't use it again.
And that's perfect.
And I think that's a perfect way.
And that's perfect because you're now with the open palm technique. Like, hey,
right.
I'm sorry. This is how I was directed when I was younger, and unfortunately, it comes in terms of what my thinking is today. Not who I am, but what my thinking is today. Can you please educate me on how to be better present and intentional with acknowledging who you are as a person? And that's where you're trying to get with. So it wasn't that you're selfish or you're naive. You weren't educated. And that's the thing is like people shy away from education because it doesn't line up to the things that they want to hear. Instead of saying, let me hear what you have to say, digest it, take some things out of it, regurgitate it to you to say, hey, this is what I learned from what you just told me, and then peacefully walk away with a common respect for each other.
Absolutely.
You know who else do that? If we want to talk about populations of people, Jewish theologians. Like I did security for a couple of Jewish synagogues, and they would talk to me and always respect me, and they would say, "Hey, would you want to come in and conversate with us and argue about theology?" And I'm like, "That's what y'all do in there?" And they're like, "Yeah, we actually have sessions where we sit down and we talk about principles, spirituality, and we have arguments and heated debate. But at the end of the day, it's respect." How would I know that? Once again, if I didn't apologize for my radical thinking,
right,
and then open arms say, hey, I want to learn about what you guys actually do.
I love it.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, you got to learn, right?
You have to. You have to.
You have to learn. And, like I said, being selfish would be to sit there and argue like, well, I'm going to continue to say that your kid is retarded.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to continue to because
No, that's selfish. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's selfish. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when somebody sits there and says like, oh, that really fucking offends me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to be derogatory. Like if I explain myself and say, hey, I didn't mean this to be like that. That was how I grew up.
Yeah.
And it's not that I was naive or ignorant to any of the things that were going on with my uncle. It was just that was the word that we used.
That was the word that you would use. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was never a big thing. And obviously, as we grew older, we, retard came into a very hostile environment and was like, oh, that's not good. Oh, okay. Like I apologize. And if you don't like it, then I will fix that. No big deal. Right. And I'm not trying to make people uncomfortable because of how I grew up.
The only time you make people uncomfortable is when you're unwilling to learn that is a segue into change.
Agreed. And when you like, I'm learning about you today, and it's fantastic.
And vice versa. We're learning off of each other. Yeah.
What I want to know. Tell me about Awesome Show. How did you start it? Because I suck at social media. And I'm doing this podcast. You're already getting a crazy following. Hold on. Can we play one clip? Can we play one clip?
You want to play one clip?
I want to play one clip. Then, can you play the clip where Jamiel is baptizing his son?
Yeah, that was.
All right, let's play this. I want to see this. You guys are in. What kind of pool is that?
It's like a makeshift pool that the church hooked up. Shout out to Journey Church. That's
I dig it.
That's the church.
And this is your son.
That's my son Shane. That's my oldest. That's the one who
he looks white,
was
by the
awesome.
way. You really lost the genes on this one.
Oh, you haven't seen my younger one. Wait, you haven't seen Alejandro because he has blue eyes, curly. He's like,
and you called him Alejandro?
Bro, that's his name.
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Listen.
All right. Oh, look. Here we go. All right, he's dipping, and you kiss him.
I always, every time I see him, I always kiss him on his head. To show like I'm here.
Big you are. You're a freaking monster, dude. You got a cool ass bathing suit, and your son's like, I don't have to worry about anything in this world because my dad's gonna kill somebody if they even remotely step to me.
What I told him in that water, is I said, Dad is not perfect, and I've made a lot of mistakes, and I will continue to make a lot of mistakes, but the one perfect person is God, and you can always rely on him. Don't rely on me, rely on him. And I said, I love you, and I said, I'm very proud of you, and that's when I kissed him. That's everything that I said in his ear on that day, because as an autistic teen, that originally was just supposed to be me that got baptized. But for an autistic teen, not saying, once again, I want to clear the air, but for him, for my son Shane to hear that I wanted to make this choice, and then for him to sit in services, and ultimately the weekend that I pick him up for this and say, hey, Dad, I want to do this too, out of nowhere, like that meant the world to me, because now if I fail today, I know he will be good as far as his guidance, as far as what he needs to do as a man, because he has the accountability to be the best person that he needs to be. So
that's amazing.
That's that clip.
Well, me and my wife, we have a conversation about the trust that our kids have in us.
Yeah.
And, we tell them, hey, we shove food over there, and we're like, try it. And they try it, and they're like, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know if it's poison. They don't know shit, right? But they trust us.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, for this, like, I watched that clip about 30 times. I don't know if like
I appreciate it, bro.
As soon as Megan put me on to you, I sat there, I watched this clip. I'm like, he kisses his head. I'm like, that's a father.
But in
and
reality,
he trusts you.
But reality, shout out to Megan first for the hookup, but
yeah,
I had to earn that trust because for the first 4 years of Shane's life after receiving a diagnosis, I left.
Oh.
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Oh, I left my family.
What?
I said F this because I didn't have what society claims as a normal alpha male that I was raising. I had a child with a disability. Mind you, I still forgot about my disability, right?
Right.
And I was like, I don't want this. And I rolled out trying to rectify or look for new ways to produce a normal family. So I left his mother, my wife at the time, and I left him for 4 years. I don't say that because I don't want no pity. I want to say that because there's a man that's right here on the edge ready to leave his family because this is not the situation you thought your family should look like.
Yeah.
Or there's a mom that's looking to leave because she feels guilty and like it's her fault that a child came out with having and was diagnosed with autism or any type of other form of exceptionality, right? That is the worst thing that you can do.
Right.
So I'm rebuilding my trust. That's a form of rebuilding my trust and handing it over, saying, I'm going to continue to be imperfect, but now I'm connecting you with someone that's perfect that you can talk to on a daily basis when I fail.
Yeah.
So it means a lot to me because in order to get there, yes, he had to look at me again and I had to reestablish that trust. And he had to say, you know what? I want to follow my dad.
That's amazing. You know, like a lot of dads, like, I mean, shit, we're all on that verge of like just getting in the car
and just that's it. How much gas I got? All right, we got like let's just go.
I can make it to Virginia, and they never gonna.
I can make it over the bridge. I'll hike the rest.
Exactly. Like they're never gonna find me.
Yeah.
You know, when I see you kiss him on the head. That's a sense of like a father just owning like, hey, I don't care what you're going through. Just know I'm here. And I love that. And I have a few friends that, you know, I want them to hear that type of struggle because I'm assuming there are days where they're like, man, if I just left, started a new family.
It'd be easy. It'd be breezy. I'll be good.
Easy and breezy. Of course. Easy and breezy. I'm
good.
But you know what? When you find another woman, you find another problem.
Amen. No. We gonna get banned for that. Yeah. Everybody got problems. Everybody got problems.
People ask me like, "Oh, would you ever cheat on your wife?" I would say, "What? Another fucking problem?" No. I say, if I cheated on my wife, it'd be with it would be a studio apartment with a TV and a lawn chair and some wings and
I'm
beers.
cheating on her with some vacation time, some alone time.
Right.
That's who I'm
I
cheating
don't want
with.
no woman.
What's her name? Apartment 331.
Exactly. Mrs. Palmer does a better job.
Oh man.
You know, like when the lady can talk, you got a problem.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh. I can feel the comments coming in off of that. It's funny though. Oh, it's funny. I just think like we have a perception. So here's one thing that I break down, and you can decipher this, and you can kind of ingest this and sit on this.
Yep.
Right. I tell people all the time, we live in a world of imperfect people. So why are you following the ideas, the directions, or even trying to mitigate expectations of a perfect person when you're imperfect yourself?
Well, I mean, social media shows us that you can be perfect.
Well,
when the girls wake up on their TikToks,
their
makeup's all done, their hair is straight.
It's straight.
But
That's not early morning stank breath. Like
I was just saying, when your wife wakes up like that, you ain't get like you're like all of a sudden you start thinking they're like, I want to wake up to that every day.
Yeah.
Bro, then
That's
your
not
wife has
reality.
to wake up about 2 hours earlier before you. So I wake up at 4. That means my wife at 2 a.m. needs to wake up, go brush her teeth, go take a shower, go shave everything.
Yeah.
And put some makeup on.
Or she has to be one of the 1% of just wealthiest people to actually just be able to do that on a consistent basis.
It doesn't matter if you're wealthy.
No.
Because guess what? Those creeps, they wake up just as fucked up. And in all honesty, they all got to brush their hair.
Yeah.
Right? They all got to brush their teeth.
Yeah.
And they all got to shave their hairs.
Yep.
And when they all do this, and they wake up and you're like, man, I saw that on TikTok. Like this babe's waking up,
I'm dying.
pearly white teeth.
Oh, man.
And they're like, oh, here's what we're doing. 5 a.m. I get my kids' lunches made. 5:30, I go on a run. And then, dude, this is not reality. What reality is you wake up.
Yeah.
Like, you see my hair done?
Yeah.
I wake up, it's over here. And I don't know if it's because I sleep on my left or I sleep on my right.
Yeah,
hey, look.
Hey, it just ends up.
Yeah,
okay.
It ends up where it is. My wife wakes up, doesn't need makeup. She never did. She doesn't need that makeup. But what she needs to do is brush her fucking stank ass teeth. And
I'm dying. Yo, I can't even stop crying, man. I'm dying so much.
But I love her about that. The first thing she does is brush her teeth.
Yeah.
Me, I read an article that, the germs that we accumulate as we sleep, they're the first germs that you want to wash down to your gut because apparently it's good gut flora for you. So I don't brush my teeth immediately.
Okay.
I drink two things of water out of my Yeti.
Okay.
And I'm like, bang,
okay.
Bang. And then I'm ready to go. I'll go up, I'll brush my teeth, and I'll do my thing.
Okay.
But you get a morning session with the wife.
Yeah.
You're either going to need to brush your teeth or you're going to need to.
It's either this or that. Like,
get some gum. Like you don't have that like regular, and you're not on that level of TikTok.
Yeah.
That these people wake up, they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I just woke up after, 4 hours of sleep. No. You didn't.
No.
You probably had 13 hours
of good restful sleep without a toddler kicking you in your back or anything else, us regular folk deal with on a regular,
So I'm a WWF guy.
Okay.
Old school.
Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah. Macho Man
Randy Savage. Like you go old school, right?
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah.
My son the other day goes, "Can I John Cena you?" I'm like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Sure, buddy." He goes,
boom,
and bangs it right on my chest. I'm like,
oh man.
I'm like, dude, go brush your teeth. I already did. Go to the bathroom. I already did.
Go somewhere. Just go somewhere.
Get out of my face right now,
eyes,
And you're trying not to like hurt him. And like he had a lot of fun with it. So I asked, like, I came back and I'm like, all right. I'm like, can I stone cold stunner you? And he goes, what does that mean? I said,
oh my God.
I'm like, just say yes if you want it. And he's like, yes. So I kick him in the stomach and he goes down. And of course I get the neck.
Oh my God.
And I snapped
this
that.
turned into a laughing session, yo.
Dude, I snapped that bitch right down on the ground. And he's like, what the hell is that? And he's like, that was awesome. And I was like, you want the people's elbow?
No, 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 no.
So
No, 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 no,
no,
no.
so we had to go on YouTube and we started talking. Like I
Oh
started
my
telling
God.
him,
Yo,
I said,
I'm crying
I-
over here because
yo.
it's like all this stuff that it's not normal. It's just life.
Yeah.
Like like people like what is normal? Like that was a term that was made by an imperfect person.
Yeah.
So the justification for identifying a person as normal is by somebody that's imperfect or have irregularities.
Yeah.
So what you're describing is just an average day with another average human being. So we need to stop, normalizing the term normal and look at it as, hey, this is just another person with their experiences. And I love that, bro. And it's making me like tear up because this is amazing.
Well, you sit there and you emphasize on normal, right?
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with your own normal.
Yeah.
And, like what you do with you and your family, your conversations, that is your normal.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be my normal.
Yeah. Facts.
And it's not that I'm sitting there saying that normal is this or oh man, they're not normal. No, that's their normal.
Mm-hmm.
That's their life. Who am I to judge somebody for living a different type of lifestyle? Like my kids, they don't drink soda, but their friends.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no,
like that's an achievement.
They don't like it,
Okay.
and we never gave it to them. We do bubble water.
Okay.
Give me a Bubs.
Get a bubbly or whatever.
Can I get a Bubs?
Gotta get
I'm like,
Bubs,
get
okay.
your fucking ass up and go to the kitchen and get it yourself. I don't want to. Bitch, then drink your water.
What am I going to do? Drink water or get a bubbly? Get
Drink
up and
your
get
flat water.
There you go. There you go. Water is water.
Exactly. And but that's our normal. But I tell them all the time, when you go to a friend's house, I said, you don't need to stop being you.
Yeah.
I said, you don't need to apply our logic to where you're at. Like there's always going to be imperfections. There's always going to be friends. There's always going to be families that you don't approve of.
Yeah.
But the kids love their friends.
Yeah.
Why would I sit there and say you're no longer allowed to be friends with that person?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if the prick's killing somebody or
Yeah,
doing
if
drugs,
it's something like extreme, yeah.
Yeah, there's always tough love as well. But if you go to a house, like we don't do McDonald's, we don't do Burger King, we don't do soda. But if you go to a house, hey, there's nothing wrong with enjoying a soda. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a Burger King or a McDonald's. I'm not going to tell you to be different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you that's not our way.
Yeah.
If you go into it and you like it, great. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what you strive for when you go to your friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you come here, hey, look, we're gonna order pizza, we're gonna order Chinese, we're gonna be fat and stupid, but you're not gonna drink.
You're not going to treat them.
Yeah. Just enjoy yourself. There's no such thing as abnormal. I just say that's their normal.
True. I think society once again plays a part and a role in understanding and actually on social media we see it more now where you have those with exceptionalities or actual physical disabilities having a big platform because of the amazing things that they can actually do. I always say, and it goes into my story, Shane has literally transformed my life and he has taught me so many things about humility, right? So what I'm noticing is that the more that we focus on these individuals who are amazing people as people, but have less than, like, right, they may be in a wheelchair, they may be an amputee, they have less than what is considered normal. Once again, an imperfect person looking at that term. We are learning from them on just how to be how to be intentional with what we have, receive it as a blessing, and continue to push forward as far as what success looks like. And once again, that ties in to their life and the autism life, what success looks like in their lives. Successful for my son may be a 1-bedroom apartment with a service animal for him and a job working at Giant. That may be success for him. So how, as a dad, am I going to help him facilitate that success, right? But also, too, I may go over a parent's house that says, no, my child is autistic, but I know that they can do better with their life. I have to respect what they are. Just like you say, going over and respecting what people are eating. I have to go into these different areas and these different cultures, and I have to respect what you're saying. But what I do is I regurgitate or I reinforce what I'm hearing to the principles in which I believe in or what I have taught. And I come away with an education that says, okay, maybe we could, or maybe I could use both of these because they align with each other. You know what? This is not good. Well, wow, they do this. Maybe I need to get weight in my thinking on that.
Right.
So you have to be a receptive person. And once again, you cannot be receptive if you are closed-minded and only think it is about skin color and other things. You have to be receptive to exploring new people and new experiences, but only if it's within a positive reasoning, right? So if obviously the other party is still on a negative type vibe, whatever that may be, then you know what? Hey, sorry about that. I'll be on my way. You don't have the invitation, but when the invitation is open and you walk through that door with all intentions at the door that you are thinking that you are going to invoke on this party or this population, and learn from them and take that back and be able to unpack that at your own time. So I'm glad you're able to talk about that. That was a great analogy of talking about, hey, I'm not going to go over somebody's house and be like, yo, I don't do that in my house, so I'm not eating. The hospitality was there for your child to even be there, right? So for them, hey, we normally don't do this, but I would like to partake, to experience this a little bit. And then I'll go back to my dad and tell him and my folks like what we actually did. Now, whether you do that again, that's really up to you, but at least you were cordial enough to respect that and take in that offer. And that's what we need to do with this, this disability population or the autism community. We need to.
So, dude, I appreciate that. And that's a lot. Like it's a lot to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of parents, right? Tell me about the Awesome Show. How many people have you reached and helped in this? Because I see you have a great following.
Shout out to all my followers, because that's day ones. I didn't pay. Like, hey, you want to pay me? You get 10,000 followers. I didn't pay. No. Every one of those people follow organic. Me. These are all organic
and these
people.
Are people that
connected.
And you do. Hold on. You do a big meetup every year for awesome dads. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so what's this? Tell me about it.
So I'll tell you first what our Awesome Show was.
All right.
I was in my eyes open stage with my son Shane and just saying, hey, I need to be more intentional. I need to be more impactful. I don't know what that is. And then when I start to look at the landscape on how to get direction, all I saw was women. And it's no disrespect to my female counterparts. Shout out to the moms doing it. I didn't see men in this space who were vocal about their feelings and doing things. I didn't see men who were just like me. So once again, I'm not talking about particularly skin color, but
we bottom that down all into the gut, and we let it explode. Like maybe once or twice a year.
But I didn't see, men of ethnicity, men of different areas, not just African American men, but men from different areas being advocates and stepping up and doing a lot of stuff. So I made a decision, and I'm like, maybe I need to be the poster child for that.
Okay.
So I came up with the Awesome Show. I reached out to this guy who did art, and I told him my crazy idea. And he's like, okay, so you need a logo. And I was like, yeah. So the logo itself.
Ben, can you bring up the logo, please? I'd like to see it and go through it.
the logo
Oh, there it
itself.
is. Is that you and your son?
That's me and my son. That's actually a picture that I took before we went to Great Wolf Lodge, and then this guy basically took he took the actual picture and made it a cartoon, and then I was like, bro, this is perfect. And he was like, you don't owe me anything. I believe in what you're doing. And I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, dope.
Well, he don't got your beard right.
Well, that was back. That was a little bit.
I was just saying,
that
were
was a
you
little
younger?
bit. Was that younger? That was a little bit. That was when I was a corrections officer. That was back in those days.
That's funny.
And the awesome show.
And your son,
yeah, that was. That's my guy. He's got a beard now. And the spelling of it, he's got a beard now
that's
too.
amazing.
I know.
Good for him.
The spelling, awesome, AUSOME. The reason why I changed the spelling is a salutation to the autism community, right? So often people are trying to find creative ways to identify their loved ones. And I was like, awesome.
I like the puzzle piece that you used.
So that's controversial. So like
no,
that,
because I had Megan on the show,
Yeah.
and she's got ink blot puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on with this?
Yeah. So people ask me, and I actually got a negative feedback from someone. Yeah, I did. And respectfully, I heard them out, and they were like, well, I don't know why you used the puzzle piece. That's very disrespectful.
Really?
And I'm explaining the origins of the puzzle piece. Now, they're talking about Autism Speaks was the first organization to use the puzzle piece.
Okay.
A lot of people have issues with Autism Speaks because they do not directly align with the mission and the advocacy work in the autism field. So they have a negative connotation about that actual identity, right? So this person, I said, ma'am, I want to respect what you're saying. Here's my story. When I first started as a man to a man first and a father to an autistic young man, I didn't know where to go. Autism Speaks was the first big organization in which I seen that unknowingly were doing great things.
Yeah.
So I worked with them. I fundraised, and I was able to fundraise over $3,000. I took the puzzle piece as an identification of not my son, because I like everybody to address Shane as Shane, a male young man that happens to have autism versus an autistic young man. I do that now because I'm his voice, because I speak for him right now. But as he's getting older, which is next year, he's able to articulate how he wants to be addressed.
Is that Shane on the right there in the third picture?
No, that's Zach.
Okay.
That's my boy Zach. So he was on my podcast. I had an actual online television show. So it went from podcast, online radio to online television. And that's Zach Steele and his brother Josh Steele. Those my boys. Shout out to them.
So where do you have your meetups?
So the meetups are every year, and they're in different parts of the tri-state area. So we meet up, like the first one was in Philadelphia. The second one was in Chester County at Valley Forge Education Services. This year is going to be, or I should say next year is actually going to be in Delaware.
Is there anything you want to highlight on your Instagram page? Is that your son right there with the beard?
Yeah, so that's Shane right now. Yeah, that's my guy.
All right.
Yeah, that was.
He looks a lot more blacker now. and after you dipped him in the pool, I get it.
It might have been, I don't know, maybe shock, maybe the lighting.
Yeah. Maybe God sat there and said, you know what, after 4 years of you fucking up.
Yeah, we just going to throw something in the mix.
We're gonna dip him in, and then he's gonna come out black.
We're pretty fair skinned. Pretty fair skinned. I got some fair skinned boys.
I dig it.
I'm telling you, if you see the baby, you would be like, yo, bro, that's not, if he didn't look like you, that's not your kid, bro. It's in the genes, but that's my guy.
He's a good-looking cat.
Thank you.
I mean,
that's my guy.
You're doing an amazing job with all this. But I want to know: have any fathers reached out to you, and said, "Dude, you really helped me get through this hard time"?
Yeah, and that's
Can you highlight anybody, or is that too much blowing up?
I remember it, and not just for the conference, but this one dad I was ministering to from New York, and he called me one day, and he has a young man with autism, probably a level 2 autistic individual. And
Now there's levels.
there are levels. There's 3 levels.
Okay,
Level
so
1 is so we used to use high functioning, low functioning. That has been replaced with level 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 meaning they need minimal supports.
Right.
Level 2 meaning they need substantial supports. Excuse me, like a medium type of supports. Level 3 means that they need substantial supports. They're in the same frame as profound autistic individuals.
Okay.
Round the clock care. Even though,
Well, that's a lot of great education, because a lot of people won't know this.
yeah, they won't know that.
Yeah.
And it's we as parents of our loved ones, we hate that we have an identification system that's a number. It's like, yeah, give me a number 1. We
Right.
hate that, but in the clinical scientific portion, this is something that has been established in order to be able to give out resources and help. But back to this dad, he called me. He's like, Jay, he's like, it's raining up here. I'm trying to get my son to come in, but all he is doing is he's laying on the ground in the rain. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, where are you at right now? He's like, I'm inside looking at him. And I'm like, dude, go out there and lay in the
down
rain,
in the rain with them.
right? But so it was an awkward pause on the phone.
Right.
And I'm like, hello? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, he's like, you want me to go out there? And I'm like, yes, go out there.
Yeah.
There's something in that moment that I want you to share with him.
Right.
And I'm like, you have to be in the moment with him. You have to be intentional with that time. So he went out there. He's like, all right, I'll call you back. He went out there. It's like 10, 15 minutes went by. And he came back and he's like, Jay, that is the best connection that I had with my son ever. And he's like, we sat there and he was smiling and he was happy. And then after I was like, hey, it's time to go in, and he just popped right up and was like, okay. And I'm like, bro, you have to remove yourself from this world and what you have been taught for these years to understand the magnitude of love and beauty and just appreciation that your son has for everything around him. He is trying to teach you something. So if there is a moment that you could get down on the floor, if there's a moment that you have to shut down your phone or you have to just be present, then be present in that moment and learn from your son. And from this point on, he's just been learning from him every single day. And that's what, when you look at everything that I do, that's why I hate talking about everything that I do. It's a heart of servitude. I'm not here to get rich, because if I was here to get rich, I would have did it before. I'm about to be 44 this year. I would have did it before 44. Obviously, that's not in my path. But what I'm responsible for is serving other people before I leave this planet.
Right.
And I want my children to be able to see what servitude looks like and be able to do the same thing for their families first and then their community afterwards.
Well, I think you're doing an amazing job with helping other dads get through this and coping. You know, like a lot of dads, they don't want to go through a counselor. They don't want to go through a therapist. You know, we like to harness all of our stuff right in our gut. You know, that's the number one killer in dads is, you know, we bury everything. But when you have a community, like when you're creating, you sit there and you're like, what should I do?
Well,
Go out in the rain. You know what? Like, you don't need a therapist to charge you $400 an hour to sit there and understand. Go sit out in the rain with them.
but we also
figure it
need
out.
men to tell us that. I need a man that connects with me, that I look at and be like, all right, he's a cool dude. I could definitely be around him and be able to say that. I shouldn't be here. At one point in my life, I had a gun to my head, about to commit suicide because of everything that I was facing when it came down to Shane, the divorce and trying to just reestablish myself a new home. I was sleeping on my boy's couch.
Right.
And I came home from work, and I remember because I used to do armed security at nights. And I was like, bro, I'm tired of this. And I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out on the couch. And my boy was supposed to stay at work later. And I had my gun, it was loaded, and I'm just sitting there like, it would be better if I wasn't here for Shane. And I had the gun to my head. And lo and behold, my boy walked into the apartment and he's like, Jay, what are you doing? And I'm like, I couldn't even talk because I was crying so much. And he didn't say one word. He sat across from me on the couch and he's like, let's just sit. And he's like, I'm not going to touch you, but let's just sit.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm bawling my eyes out and I'm screaming to him, it would just be better if I wasn't here for Shane because I already messed up on him. I did what was done to me, generational curses. I did that to him. And he's like, let's just sit. I'm here. And eventually, through grief, through tears, the gun got heavy and I put the gun down. And then he came over and he sat with me. Now, I don't know if a lot of people understand or have read the Bible, but there's one book in particular that when I first started going in my walk, it's the book of Job that talks about that when his friends sat with him, even though his friends was blaspheming God and they were saying, why are you praising this man who gave you leprosy that took everything from you?
Right.
They were friends that sat with them. And then at the end, when God was like, well, I'm about to off these dudes because they blaspheme me, Job said, no, let me work on them in order to keep them in line to your word, and they will be praising you soon. And he did so. My friend, even though he wasn't perfect, he wasn't a Christian, he was there. And he sat with me through that. He didn't want to sit there and argue me down. He didn't want to sit there and prove a point. He just sat with me through that. And that's what we need as men in this space. But we also have to be non-ignorant enough, non-boastful, non-arrogant enough to be able to accept that. And what that looks like looks different. Most people won't accept me. I can go downtown to a corporate person that's working a job that he's making $250,000, right? Every single year. And I can see him inside a building and I can sit right next to him and he might not receive me. But then I might meet somebody that works another corporate job that's maybe making a little bit less, $92,000. And he's looking at me and being like, hey, you know what? Got cool tattoos. I like tattoos too. And I'm sitting with him and I'm talking with him and we're just listening to each other. He's receiving me. So either you're going to do this life on your own and you're going to fail miserably because you're doing it on your own and you're too pig-headed to open up and talk. If you're not going to talk to your spouse, which should be the first person, if you have that blessing, but if you're not, you should be able to talk to your boys. And if you can't talk to them, then they're not your boys. That's the wrong crowd that you're with.
I agree. Definitely agree. That's a lot to take in right there. You know, it's amazing that you had a friend that understood the situation. You know, a lot of friends won't be in that situation. They would try to go for the gun and they would try to manifest the situation with violence. That was not what you needed. And it's not what a lot of people need. And a lot of men don't need that, right? You know, a lot of men they need to be heard. They need to feel that they're being heard.
Yeah, they need to be acknowledged. Yeah. But what are you doing to be acknowledged? That's the factor. You want to like I told you 4 years I wasn't in Shane's life, right? So do I have a right to prance around like, yeah, you know, I'm the greatest dad of all time? Nah, bro, you don't. What have you done in order to be acknowledged? Because I acknowledge you as a man. But if we're talking about a particular space of fatherhood, I'm not acknowledging you. You got to do more. I talk to fathers every day. Oh, this is hard. I get it, bro. Yeah, but you have to be there.
When you sit there and say like that takes a lot of courage to sit there and say that you weren't part of his life for 4 years, right? It's hard. A lot of fathers don't want to come back. And when they do want to come back, they don't know how to take that second chance. So I would love for you to talk about the second chance that you were able to get with your son, not just your wife, not your other son, this son, Shane, you were gone for 4 years.
4 years.
And look, I'm not condoning leaving.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never sit there and I'll praise you for that. But what he gave you was a second chance. What God gave you was a second chance.
Yeah.
And you didn't fuck that up.
No.
You took that and you made Shane a part of your life. You made Shane a part of a lot of other people's lives.
Yeah.
And what you did was, you know what? I'm not going to take this second chance and fuck this up. I'm going to help other fathers who may need a second chance to get in there and do it. You're not showing up because he's doing great.
Yeah.
You're not showing up because he's doing bad. Motherfucker, you're a father.
I'm a father. Yeah.
You're showing up and doing your thing.
I got
Talk about how that second chance made you feel. And dude, tell the listeners what you want them to know, because you're going to pop this off and people are going to sit there and be like, oh, I didn't know this motherfucker did that. I didn't know he was this guy. But we're all there.
Yeah.
Even when your kid is not autistic.
Yeah.
You sit there and you're like, Jamaica sounds good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Puerto Rico sounds beautiful right now.
Puerto Rico sounds good at this time of the year.
It's definitely beautiful.
Dude, tell these people what the hell they need to be doing.
Whether you're dealing with a child that is neurotypical and neurodiverse, us as men, we need to be there. One of the biggest things that you can do is you can leave your household and leave the door open for anything evil, bad, anything to possibly happen in your household. If you got to sleep on the couch, you sleep on the couch until everything is hashed out. But the biggest battle is going to be re-entering into that child's life. It's not going to be easy. When I re-entered into that child's life, I didn't have a car, so it took me 4 hours to get to him in order to see him, and then I could only sit outside of his mother's residence. She didn't invite me inside, but you know what? It was worth it, because I was trying to earn my way back into his heart and into his life, not knowing that, historically, he has forgiven me time and time again for my downfalls. I didn't know it, but I knew that I had to show up every single time more and more. I remember times where I would go to I went to every one of his recitals, every one of his musical recitals. I was at every single one. Maybe I was acting off of past trauma, or maybe I was sitting there and still trying to pour into that cup to give back at least some time from that 4 years that I lost. But you have to be intentional. We have to be intentional as men to face the fire and own our embarrassment when we're in the wrong, when we have work to actually do. And this kind of goes through everything. And I'm learning this even today as we speak, of what that looks like to kind of pick up your mantle or pick up your cross per se, however you want to put it, and actually walk through the fire and be strong enough to sit there and say, you know what, I messed up, but I'm not going to do it anymore. And not just say that, but say, these are the reasons why I'm not going to do anymore. Have a roadmap.
Can you say that men have a harder journey to overcome than a woman? Now, when we mess up, man, we eat it. Dude, it's hard. And it's so difficult to come back from. When a woman messes up, I'm sorry, and that's it. But when a man messes up, man, we have to earn it. And when you come back, and yes, we have that animosity towards us, not towards us, in us, because women will make us feel like the inferior pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And when they break us down and when they kill us, we sit there and we're like, oh man, like, how can I get through this? I only want to be with my son. I only want to be better for my son. I only want to be better for my family. This is not this is not a, hey, I just want to go fucking sling dope and be good for my family. No, you can do whatever you want to do with money. But when you're there for your kids and you're there for your family, that's a harder feat to hit. And when you brutalize your kids for your inadequacies, there's a lot of people that will take your path, right? And they'll leave.
Yeah.
But they'll come back. They're not going to do what you did.
No.
You are earning your spot back with your son. Shane, good looking kid.
Thank you.
He's got a better beard than you.
He definitely does. He definitely does.
Know what?
I'm struggling. I got the salt and pepper though, so I got something going for me.
You know what?
Bit.
I can't grow a beard, so I fuck you both. But
oh, man.
I love his glasses.
Oh yeah, that's his style. That's his vibe. You know, that's his style,
dude. And I dig it.
The one thing I want to touch on when you were asking that, and you were talking, is that I'm gonna give you. So I give examples, right? Because we're men, we're creatures of looking, of visual, right? So I want you to visualize this.
We're hunters.
We are.
Yes.
I was put through family court.
Yep.
So custody, child support, and everything like that is the worst. I will say this on camera: child support is the worst court system for involving neurodiverse children. It is. It's not set up. You judges, and you can hold me accountable and say I said this. The court system needs to do better when it comes down to looking at both parties and seeing what is the best for that actual child. Need to do better. Anyway, I said that. That's it. I got that off my chest.
I got it off my chest. Got it off my chest. Come on now. I like it.
So I went into the courts, and obviously there's a lot of hatred, a lot of petty stuff that are going on between me and his mother. And I remember going into the courts and being portrayed as this worst individual. So in all honesty, I did a lot of things in that marriage that I shouldn't have done. Yes, I was a piece of crap.
Yeah.
But you don't portray me as if I did not want my son. It was more of a question, well, what made you think leaving was the best option? No one asked me that. It was like, oh, well, you left and that was it. It was like, hey, how's your mental health? What made you actually think?
It doesn't fucking matter what you are going through.
But that's what I'm saying. When it comes down to that get back or getting right with your child, that's the road that one of the roads that I had to take. I had to sit when a judge told me that I wasn't doing enough because I lost my job, and that he would throw me in jail if I didn't get a job and get back on child support, right?
Yeah.
I had a judge or a master or however they call it sit there and say, oh, well, do you want to sign over your rights as a father, because you don't seem as though you are interested in being there as a stable parent and a role model.
Right.
But you know what? I bought that. And the men who leave their children, you buy whatever is being served that day. So if it's court dates, you going to get it hot. If it's child garnishments, you going to get it hot. Everything's going to be on your plate, and you have to eat that. And that was the hardest thing. But the one thing that I will never eat again off of the plate of regret is me abandoning my son again. Yeah. I will never, because that you can't swallow. That you will spit up, and you will keep on vomiting because you'll be sick that you have a child out here that you have no relationship with.
Now, do you think women that are in this position, do you think it hurts more when the women don't want you part of the kids' lives? It's one of the hardest things for a man to go through, is like, whether you make a mistake or you come back to it, or you just sit there and say, I don't want a part of this. the women's going to make your life a living hell, right? And God bless you to have a woman that allowed you back in for a second chance.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that you are not spoiling this second chance, you know,
Yeah.
and you are doing an amazing job. Like, this awesome show is amazing. You have a lot of great following. You're helping a lot of people dealing with the things that you went through as a young man. Now, as an adult, you're sitting there like, I'm going to take this journey and I'm going to make it better. If your kid didn't like the journey, you wouldn't do it. If Shane did not like the Awesome Show, there would be no more Awesome Show.
If Shane wasn't neurodivergent, there
Right.
would be no Awesome Show. If I didn't, um, if I didn't swallow my pride and my ego, there wouldn't be no Awesome Show.
Right.
If I would have had an abortion, or his mom would have had an abortion, there would have been no
Right.
Awesome Show. So there's
There would have been
always
an awesome kid.
It wouldn't be an awesome kid, right?
Right.
There wouldn't be. Everything happens for a reason, and there's a purpose. I often say, like, God plays this joke on me because he took away my mom, but then he gave me back my dad. And then he gave me Shane to reinforce the relationship of what a father is supposed to look like, and how to love people for their mistakes and see them through them and see the best in people. Even before you even get to talk to them, just be like, hey, that's another person.
Right.
You know, I've been given so much. I've been taken, stuff been taken away from me in large chunks, but I've been given so much. So I'm very blessed and very honored to be able to do so. But I know what I'm doing right now is not just for me and Shane. It's bigger than us.
That's amazing.
And it's like, serve. Like,
Yeah.
you see Bill Gates, he's talking about giving away all his fortune, like
fuck
within the
him.
next couple of years. I mean, he could throw me a couple of dollars. I'll
Yeah.
take it, right?
Yeah, no,
But-
fuck him.
But you
he's a
have to
piece of shit.
think about, though, why?
Yeah.
What did he realize now in his life that he didn't realize years before? What is he seeing now that made him be like, you know what? All of this means nothing.
Yeah.
You got to kind of like, those are the things that I kind of like question myself, like, what is he thinking? Because he's a father too. What did he think? And he's actually autistic. So that's the thing too, is like, what are you seeing now
Right.
that isn't like that? My life is here to make sure that other men don't get to that point, that they see it beforehand, they stop it, they reroute themselves, and they start living for serving and their purpose right now. That's what my life is here for. So I show it through Instagram, through my speaking engagements, through things that I put together, conferences.
I love it.
And I'm open book, and I tell them,
Right.
this is what you need to be so you won't be like me. You know what Shane says? We talk in the car every single day. We have what the autism community calls social stories. So when I pick him up on the weekends that he's with me, we run down everything that's going to happen during the weekend with a clause in there that something may change. And then one of the biggest things that we say is, you know what, you about to graduate, man, is very exciting. So I'm like, what do I always say to you about how you were supposed to do in school? And he's like, Dad, you always say you want me to be better than you. Damn right.
That's right.
Damn right. There's
Yeah.
no ego here. There's no pride. There's only facts. You have to be better than me, because I don't want you to go through the same pitfalls that I went through. Neurodivergent, neurotypical. I want you to be better than me, but I also want you to serve other people on what that actually looks like as a man.
When you're a father, the greatest day that you'll ever have is when your kids beat you at something, whether it's darts, pool, baseball, golf, anything. The greatest joy of a father is getting beat by their kid, because they know that they taught them to do better than you. And you're like, damn. Like, obviously, the loss is always going to be hard for a dad.
Yeah. L is an L, you know.
Yeah, an L is an L, exactly. You know, and you go, when you go back and forth, right? My grandmother was told that my uncle would not live past 12. He lived to 46.
Man, bless his heart. That's what's up.
And, you know, every trash day, he would run up the street. My grandmother would go, and, you know, she'd be smoking bows, and she would sit with all the neighbors, and my Uncle Vincent would bring all the trash cans back to the neighbors' houses.
Wow.
And he would follow the trash men, and the trash men loved them. Loved him. And they knew exactly what he was doing, but he had Down syndrome. Like he couldn't speak. And when he did speak, it was shit, boat. Like he loved the Price is Right.
Yep, Shit's Creek.
Right. Exactly. And, you know, when my grandmother would lose the lottery, it'd be, shit. And he'd be like, shit. And he would hit the table. And it was like, it was fantastic. But that was our guy.
Yeah.
We would make fun of him.
Yeah.
But if an outsider make fun of him,
yeah.
it's I mean, dude, yeah, we're
the same. It's the same way.
I'm sorry. What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, it's the same way.
You're making fun of him? He's got Down syndrome. And then you either beat the shit out of him or whatnot. But it was just one of those things. You can sit there and have fun with your son. You know, Shane probably has a tick or whatnot, and you're like, that's funny, dude. And you kind of break his balls. But if I came in, I was like, what's wrong with him?
And I've had that.
Yeah.
I've had that.
And, you know, your big ass fucking muscles are going to.
Facts. All cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
all cheeseburgers.
Yeah, all cheeseburgers.
All cheeseburgers. That's it.
Well,
That's it.
You're pumping your fucking arms up with something. It looks like helium. But you're going to come in and you're going to rock me. And you're going to be like,
nah.
What the? What? Like, what did you just say? Why are you breaking his balls?
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean it. No, fuck you. You don't talk like that. And yeah, I mean, dude, you're probably in the same boat.
Years ago, yeah, I definitely would have put my hands on you. Now I'm more.
Oh, you touch God.
No, it's not even that. It's just I like to educate individuals out of ignorance.
Okay.
If I can.
Right.
You know, obviously if it's something that my son can't defend himself, I always fall back and choose to watch and see how Shane reacts to different people because dad is not going to be here forever. So I want to see if you have the tools in order to navigate interpersonal skills.
Well, when Shane's got fucking Goliath sitting behind him.
That's it. He can't,
I mean, my man can do whatever he wants.
I mean, he's a thick boy himself. He's getting there. The genes are in there.
I see him.
You know, once he can, I step in and I kind of communicate what's going on or how can I help you. And if there is more of an aggression to that, then I'm going to excuse my son and then I'm going to interject myself as articulate as I possibly can to educate,
yes,
but also let them know firmly that now you're talking to me. There's no more talking to my son because your disrespect obviously is not allowing you to kind of refocus to maybe an overstep or maybe something that you shouldn't done.
So you're there to educate.
I'm there to educate.
With your muscles.
No, I'm there to educate with articulation. I don't listen. I don't like to be aggressive, but I've been put in positions where I've been in shootouts. I've been in situations and bars.
What the fuck?
Because I was doing armed security for bars for years.
Got it.
So I've been shootouts. I've been in bar fights. I've been in all things where I had to be athletic and muscular. So that's what I'm
like
known
the 2025
to.
Dalton.
Yeah,
from Roadhouse.
But I mean, right now, is that the lesson that I want to teach Shane? No. Is that the only way you can survive in this world is by using physical brawn, or do I want to teach you how to be ready at a moment's time if there is some physical resistance, but always lead with your heart. So the simple thing that I teach officers when I do training for how to interact with neurodivergent individuals is your first go-to weapon or your first use of force is mere presence.
Yep.
That's the first thing. The second thing that you do is you don't automatically go for your weapon because you fear because this autistic individual is not adhering to your commands. The second thing you're going to use is verbal commands and hand gestures. And then the third things you want to do is you want to use secondary impact weapons, which will be cuffs, which will be baton, expandable baton, or maybe even the taser if that's the worst case scenario. There has to be a level of engagement even with each of us.
Right.
We are too we're too competitive on how to overthrow or how to over engage situations instead of sitting back and reevaluating everything and saying, okay, this is the best course of action.
Right.
The best course of action is not me beating you up, because what's that's going to do? That's going to traumatize my son. That's going to get the police called on me. That's going to mean handcuffs from me. My son now is going to see me in handcuffs. I'm going to be in court. My job's going to learn about that. I might lose my job. Now I got to be in court with no job. My son is still going through all this trauma. Now I can't pay the child support, so I'm going to jail. Now my son won't see me and he'll have to see me behind bars. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you have to visualize what is the best course of action. In my younger days, I definitely would have rolled on somebody. But in my days right now, whether I'm older or not, it's more like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Can I educate you?
If you asked me to go for a talk, I'd be like,
can I talk to you? Can I talk to you for a minute? Like I've done it plenty of times in uniform and everything that I had. Let me talk to you for a minute. Where there was an individual and I'm like, that's not the right time. That's not the right time. In the case of my son and any individual, whether they're disabled or neurodivergent, I'm always willing to stand up and be like, excuse me, can I talk to you on behalf of them?
Right.
Not to disrespect and saying they don't have a voice. But once again, I'm serving, right? So I'm serving two people, the person that created the offense and the person that's taking the offense, and I'm the third person.
Jamiel, thank you so much for being on the show.
I appreciate it. We still had a lot to unpack, but
dude,
we got a lot out, which I'm happy about.
You unpacked a whole lot for a lot of people. Tell the fans one thing that you learned in your time of going through 4 years without your son and 4 years with your son. How can you earn that second chance back with your family when you make a mistake?
I'm gonna tell you one thing, and it's going to align with your question. Is what is the hardest? What is the most sought after academy? What is the thing that we all want so badly, but yet we put a high price tag on it, and that's love. And that's the thing that these individuals, like my son, autistic individuals, show every single day. I just want to encourage people to actually learn what love is, to embrace what it is, to give that love, and be able to receive love and understand that when somebody says they love you, they genuinely do love you. So I just want to end that with not like, hey, this is a checklist of what you do, but I just want to end this with, I love each and every one of you that are watching this today. You are worthy, you are acknowledged, you are loved, and you belong here regardless of your situation. So I know it's a little bit different than what you wanted, but I
that's
felt
fantastic.
like that's what we need to put down there.
So I really appreciate that. Love every bit of this. Where can people, awesome dads, how can they reach out to you?
Okay.
Give me how they got you. How can they reach out? And when is the next mixer for Awesome Dads?
Okay. So you can follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook at The Awesome Show. I'm more responsive on Instagram.
Spell The Awesome Show.
Yes, TheAusomeShow.
It's a very good play on words. I love it.
Thank you. So you can follow me on that. The next Autism Fathers Conference, we're looking at the last week in March. So the last Saturday, but we're kind of still looking at the dates and the accessibility of the location. It will be in Newark, Delaware.
Now, can regular dads show up
Yep.
too?
They can learn.
Yeah,
They can find community.
We would all love to understand how, when we meet another father, right? Whether it's at a sporting event or whatnot, there's always a time when you're like, fuck, man, I don't know how to handle this.
Yeah.
This Awesome Dads conference could help that.
Yeah.
When you get into the mix of it, it's like, this could be cool. Like you meet a bunch of dads and they're all awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a heart.
Yeah. Everybody's got a heart and they have a journey and they have a story.
They have a journey. They all have a story.
Everybody is welcome. Even the awesome moms out there, we have a space dedicated for them. We just let everybody know that this is a father male focused event, meaning to engage males in that perspective, but all are welcome.
Yeah, we tell the wives to stay home that day.
And a lot of wives
stop.
like it.
Can we just get a weekend to ourselves? Fuck this guy.
And a lot of guys
leave
do.
the wife at home.
And a
it's
lot
not awesome moms. It's awesome dads.
And a lot of moms, they appreciate it, and they do. They like, hey, that's for the men. Let's keep it. Let's do it. Let's keep it for those. So it's for everybody. I mean,
Hey, I'm sure all the moms are going to be really upset with me. Hey, look,
it's all good.
All I'm saying is I'm trying to help the other dads just get a day to open up.
And we do that. And we do that. We make sure we do it.
And you open up, you reach God, you reach whatever level you are looking at. And it's amazing to hear other people's story.
Yeah.
Jamiel, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is there anything you want to last words? You got any saving grace here?
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Go Birds. Go Birds. Go Birds.
He's so Dalco. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go
Hey,
Birds.
listen, it's all good. Hey, listen. Don't worry. Another ring.
I think we
need.
stink this year. But you heard it here first,
all
right?
We'll see. We'll see.
I know.
We'll see.
I'm always wrong. Hey, Young Jung, thank you so much.
No problem.
Then appreciate you.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Thank you so much. Jamiel, have an amazing day.
Peace.
Thank you.
Peace. Thank you.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much.